All right, ladies. So good day for the truck. As I continue to build on this thing and improve on it, make it better and better. Actually got some Bilstein shocks, 5100s. Getting ready to install these things today. There they are. That's kind of what you get. There's the hardware. Bilstein 5100s. Pretty beefy, pretty nice. So we'll get this thing jacked up, get these wheels and tires off, and get this suspension swapped out. I also had to rent I don't have a spring compressor, so I had to rent one from the local auto shop. I think it was like 40 bucks to rent. But you return it and they give you your money back, so should be fun. So I got the OEM shock off, pretty easy. Loosen up that knuckle so it drops it a little bit out of the way. Clear the area out. So there's the shock. Getting ready to get this disassembled. So while I was at it, I went ahead and disconnected the sway bar. Pretty easy. Those two bolts, plus the linkage down there. So I'm gonna run it without a sway bar for now. We'll see how it goes. If I have any issues, I can always reconnect it, but I would like to get more articulation out of the suspension. So with the independent front, disconnect the sway bar is not a big issue, like it is on the solid axle. So we'll give this a shot and see how it turns out. All right, so got the shock all together. One of the things you had to do, which kind of was trial and error on my end, is the OEM mounting location is different than the aftermarket Bilstein. What I mean by that is when you put the shock in, this part needs to be facing outward towards the mount, and that needs to line up perfectly with this mount. These mounts are not symmetrical. See, it's kind of like a diamond. So if you just do it randomly and try to put this one on the outer edge, you'll be off. So they're not 100% symmetrical. This one is meant to be the outer one. And then this mount needs to exactly match up with this eyelet going this way. So I had to play around with it to get it to line up correctly, but there it is. So let's get this thing installed. All right, got that bad boy installed. There it is. Looking pretty sweet. Not too hard, but plan on spending at least half a day trying to get this thing in and do this install. So at least a half a day. While I have everything open, I'm gonna go ahead and lube my Zerk fittings for my upper control arm aftermarket, and should be good. Get everything installed and buttoned up, see how it looks. All right, ladies, there it is, all installed. It added about 3/4 of an inch more in lift, but I think once the shock settles down and settles in, after a little bit, it'll drop back to the height that it was. But right now it is sitting about 3/4 of an inch higher than it was before with the Bilstein 5100s. So again, once that shock settles in, I'm sure it'll drop back down, but it added a little bit more rake to the truck, the front being a little bit higher than the rear. Right now it's about 3/4 of an inch higher than it was before. And I already had a 3-inch lift on it before, so I'm sure that will settle back down and settle back in. But there it is, Bilstein 5100s installed. Put the OEM spring back in and replace the shocks. So let's test these out and see how they run. All right, ladies.